Hello everybody, and I'm back with another, I guess it's gonna be a long video, I guess. So as usual, I don't have a script. I don't have any chronological topics or chapters. I only watch the video, afterwards, after I film it, and then I would make the timestamps. So as usual, there would be timestamps in the description box. And today's video, I have been pondering on this toppings. Now I think of pizza. Toppings. Topics. Topic. I have been thinking, pondering on this topic for quite some time already. It's about monetization. And I have finally come to a resolution within myself. And not only I'm here to share with everyone, about this resolution, but I also would like to share my entire thought process of how I, came to such a resolution. And it's gonna be deep. So let's get deep, shall we? It ties back this entire monetization thing. Now, this is the overview of what we're going to talk about, okay? What are we going to talk about in this video? The monetization ties into my passion, okay? And creativity, which is creativity and passion. And as relating to monetization, right? The second thing would be about childhood trauma when it comes to receiving, feeling one is adequate enough to receive, that I deserve to receive good things in life. That would be childhood trauma. Mostly not even just father wound, but yes, but it's also about a very wounded feminine energy within myself, but it's much more about divine masculine in a way within myself, the energy. And the third thing would be the stories that, or say my personal experiences of how I navigate through these two and coming to a resolution within myself. It's basically the third part would be linking all this together, like wrapping up. And so this is where I'm going now, like, okay. So let's start with the first one, that is passion and creativity, right? Because in one of the previous videos that I posted on this channel, I have the title was I quit giving my creativity, I quit selling creativity to commercial success, or something like that. Okay, I quit selling creativity for commercial success, something like this. One of the earliest videos that I posted on this channel. The reason I posted that is, I would say that was a stepping stone to assist myself realizing about everything I do in life when it comes to monetization. Because it is so I'm such a person that it's very necessary for me to make it make sense, like make things make sense for myself in order to move forward. I'm such a person, as in, what does it mean by like when I say move forward, is to actually take action, to now I'm doing this. Like I'm such a person that when I determine to do something, I'm just like, okay, that's it. Because once I make a decision, it is not out of impulsivity. It is out of very thorough understanding within myself that I have to make this clear with myself first. And that is the exact reason why I haven't been monetizing off this channel at all. Because I have had, experimenting. I have had certain experiments with it. Like, what if I do this? What if I do this? But then every time I tried, it is like for me, it's more like a trial and error, like self-learning, self-correcting. And I'm just like, and then self-regulating, like AI. And then I'm just like, no, that doesn't feel right. Like, that is not aligning to myself. That is not aligning to my core values. And then I would just readjust again, and I would just reflect again. And then I would then see, why is this not working? So it's an experiment to me. But when I mean, why is this not working, I'm not saying why is the money not coming in. Because before any kind of money even comes in, I already know the system is not working. Which system? This. That, like, if my mindset is not simple, functional, practical, effective, and efficient, optimizing, optimal, then I know it's not what I want. It's not what I want. Even if there is anything, certain outcome or result that could possibly emerge, it's not something that I want. Because I really work like work like this, be towards anything. One could say it's like work ethics or things like that. But I think I'm just really clear on things, even when it comes to with myself. So it's like a circuit, like a circuit that I have to understand. Okay, so this is going here, this is going here. So, and I don't like it messy. I like to have it very clean cut, and then I understand how this is going there. And I also not only understanding how it's going there, but also why. Because I always ask myself question, like, why do I do this? Why do I want this? Why did I put it here? What can I actually use another way to do it? But what is my intent? So I always come to this, but it's not in a way to contradict myself. It's more of questioning myself to the point that there's no more question. Then I know, good. Now that's a good system. But over time, I would also update, so to speak, the system, because things change, and I would encounter different things in life, and I would have to update my system. It's the same for any kind of system. When it comes to belief system, things like this. So this is just how I operate as a person. So for some people, they might find me like, you think too much. You overthink. But for me, no. But I understand if they see it like that. I respect how they see it. However, for me, it is necessary for me to think it thoroughly, because that would reduce any possibilities of confusion and also friction. Because friction would cause any systems to slow down, meaning the efficiency, right? So yeah, I'm just like, I'd rather put more time and effort into building an effective and efficient system now than having to fix many bugs later. So yeah, that's just me. And oh wow, didn't know that I would talk about system like that. But okay, let's keep going as to why. Because I was talking about the video I posted earlier on, right? It was about I quit feeding my creativity to commercial success. That was my video. That was one of the videos. Okay, and in that video, I talked about how non-sustainable the creative industry or even how the society treats creativity is, currently. And I drew out a diagram that shows how non-sustainable, how this non-sustainable cycle is. And what I suggested was that because the output, which is monetary gains or even fame or status, titles, all of these are actually not fuels. They're not fuels for feeding the passion. And that's why over time, artists or creative people, their passion would die off or decrease because they don't have the right fuel to feed their passion keep going. And the exact fuel or the food for passion is actually the creative process, the freedom to express, the freedom to explore one's own possibilities. That is where passion feels the most vibrant and being nurtured, sustainable, being sustained, the food. And however, it's because of an invisible formula, which is very structured in our society nowadays, that would really stifle and suffocate the entire creative process, and that in itself it is a non-sustainable cycle, because it could not sustain passion in individuals. That's what I suggested in that video, and that is exactly the reason why I mentioned passion, creativity, and monetization. Because what I realized is that usually it really requires a lot of balance for a person to, within oneself, to understand how much I'm gaining, as in monetary wise, and how much I'm producing. So, but it's actually at the same time input, because whatever I'm creating is in fact a sort of input into the system, and the output would be a certain monetary gain, right? In this kind of system. However, sometimes we could lose a lot of balance. Sometimes we really could lose balance when it comes to this. And so it would usually very easily, if being unaware and unconscious, would then slip into the survival mode. So that would then be feeding creativity to commercial success. So when unconscious. However, if certain individuals, they actually do want to gain commercial success using creativity, now that's all right as well. Okay, it's just personal choice, right? There's no right or wrong. That's perfectly fine. It's just for me, I'm not that kind of person. So I really take my time to digest, and to look within and ask myself questions that how can I navigate through this? Or basically is to how can I set up a system or say a mindset that I understand what I want is aligned with what I do internally and then externally, right? So it's really aligning to my own core values. And so I've come to this point where I realized that me sharing knowledge, not even just knowledge like information, anything like this, it really is my passion, and I really enjoy sharing and interacting with other people like you guys, to really to share and to be inspired, through the interaction. It's really enjoyable for me, and that is why every time if I have a thought of monetizing of the audience, it really, I cringe. I really cringe. I'm not joking. Like, I really feel very cringy because I feel really weird. It's kind of like taking money. Like, it's like I'm charging people to become my friends, or it's really, really weird for me. So that's why I also had another video later, after that one, the creativity one, which was I talk about money matters and my struggle with it. Okay, that's the video title. In that video, I talked about how I've come to a realization that maybe receiving donations would be the best option at that time for me, right? So that was like my entire evolving process, like how I have come along. And I then, at that point, I was like that, right? But then later, in last week, there was a live video. The live video was on artificial intelligence and creativity. And there was one, I just want to get each one off. You're so stubborn, just like me. Okay, you're good. I'm just taking the strand of hair off. I need to be bothered by it. Okay. What I was saying, the live video. Yes, the live video. In that video, there was one viewer. I think it's a she. I don't know, but the viewer asked me if there's any way that he or she could donate to me, okay, to support me. And then in that live video, I replied, on spot, that I have been navigating, like I have been pondering on this because I have not been feeling comfortable to receive, okay, like even donations. Even though I did say something about that, in that video, but I felt like I was not ready. Like the system was not ready. Like I haven't thought it through. So I don't want to propose anything nor to take any actions because it just doesn't make sense. It would not make sense even if I just put out something like, guys, donate. It just doesn't make sense. Like I have to be solid within myself before I propose anything. I'm like, nah, I have to be solid here. So I'm stubborn, I know it, but that's good kind of stubborn. And so I mean, I'm just being responsible for myself. So for my own actions, basically. So I also mentioned in the live video that I have been thinking of two ways, like at that moment, so that was last week. I thought to myself, and I expressed it, that I have now come to two options. The first option is about monetization, or like, receiving donations and such. I said the first option is I do not receive any monetary things at all, okay, from the audience, from anyone, because that could possibly clash with my passion, okay, because I kind of want to keep it pure. I kind of want to keep the passion pure, so the quality is okay, good, and also, it's like it's very important to separate passion from the monetary gain, so then my survival mode would not be related to the passion at all. However, it's very interesting is that the passion actually keep me going, so it like I see, no, how I see is survival, like say basic necessities is also important, but passion is also very, very equally important. So I would say it's better for myself personally to separate it. Okay, that was what I was thinking, and I still resonate with that. Okay, however, I was like, can I have any other pathways? Like alchemizing it. Like, how can I have a different pathway? You know, like a new pathway, like a third pathway, fourth pathway. You know, I'm thinking of different possibilities. So that was the time that was on spot. I said the first option is I do not receive any monetary support. The second option would be I do monetize this channel, YouTube channel, when it reaches, you know, the criteria to be able to monetize. But what I would do is actually pay it forward, right? Like whatever I receive from this channel, like actually the statistics, right? I would actually pay it forward, and I would review the statistics to everybody. So transparency. And the reason behind this is that I also mentioned it in the live video. The reason is because I see this community as a collective effort. That the resources, I would actually say it's resources, it's really valuable and precious. It's not that I see every interaction as a learning opportunity, and if it's just, you know, I see this is a way to grow together. And so that's why I'm like, I had to make it make sense within myself that if we are actually growing together, yeah, yes, I'm the one filming the videos, but you are the ones watching. You know, like, I mean, I can't really do accurate calculations because it's not about this, but it's just, can I make it make sense for myself? That is the only thing that I ask myself. Now, I'm not like calculating, so you watch this much time and I film this much time. No, not any of this, none of this. This is like too, nah. But it's just, if I don't feel right about it, I just can't do something. I just can't. Like, I have to be honest with myself. If not, I can't. I really can't do anything that is against my own honesty. Okay, I just cannot. I'm just such a person. Okay. So that's why I proposed that. Like, as in, I was actually proposing to myself as well as to the audience at the time. So it really prompted me to thinking even more, to reflecting on even more afterwards. And one of the viewers also mentioned something. I forgot what exactly, I think it's what exactly he said, like the entire phrase, but he said something like, you might be thinking too much about the money thing. Like, it's kind of like, if people want to give it to you, it's fine to receive, like something like this. And then I read it, I was like, I actually read it on spot, and then I was like, oh wow, actually I didn't think of that. I was like, oh yeah, that I would reflect on it, because it's something that I didn't come to realize. Okay. And so it was very meaningful to me, even though it was a very short phrase, but it you know, it prompted me into thinking more about that, reflecting mainly, not really thinking, but more like reflecting. And so yeah, I think maybe I should clear it up a little bit. Okay. So then what happened afterwards is like the few days later, over the next few days, actually not few days later, over the next few days after the live video, I was like patiently taking my time to think, you know, to settle, to feel, and to just take time to be quiet and silent and just simply reflect and receive whatever I need to receive, you know, from myself. Like, what am I not seeing? Like, what am I not seeing? Why do I feel like there's such a block within myself to receive? And then there was something that really popped up in my mind one day. It was actually just like a few days later, okay, or like 1 day later or 2 days later. I learned about something that like from myself, you know, that I was like, everything came with a price. That's actually what I heard from like myself, I would say. And I was like, wow. I didn't see that at all before. I didn't know it. But it clicked. It really clicked. I was like, oh wow, that's the key. Like that's the key to everything that I needed to know about myself. Why is it that it's so hard for me to receive? It's just really hard. It's like there's a block for me to receive, you know? And so what happened afterwards is that I really felt it. I was like, yes, that's actually how I have been feeling since really like a kid. And that is really linked to how I was being brought up, the entire environment, and also, you know, the structure of the family. And so the universe always knows what's best for us. And so one day, you know, like a day after or a few days after, I forgot exactly how many days, but when I, you know, opened YouTube, there's a video popped up on my newsfeed page that is talking about, you know, to unblock one's, like, to how to manifest in abundance, things like this, okay? And I clicked into it, to which I would link this beautiful video in the description box below, because it's this lady is so beautiful. She's just so peaceful. She's like yes, just her vibe is very beautiful, very beautiful lady, woman, and very peaceful, very peaceful. I highly recommend her channel. And what, like, when I clicked into her video, the entire video like hit the core of my soul. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I need for confirmation right now. Because before actually watching this video, I have been reflecting on and feeling that yes, it's actually about how I felt was everything came with a price. Even if when I grew up in a household that is sufficient when it comes to, you know, money, but it doesn't feel unconditional to me. It's like I feel everything I do, everything I use is, if it feels like it came with such a heavy price, but it's intangible. You know, it can be something like emotional abuse. It feels really trapping. And in fact, one of the I wouldn't say dream, but yearnings, I would say, one of the yearnings when when I was a kid, not since, because I'm now grown up, but like when I was a kid, was actually to be an adult. It's like I really wanted to grow up so much. I think now in hindsight, I didn't understand back then, right? But then now I look back, I realized that it's because I didn't want to stay there. Like I wanted to have my own life. I wanted to be in control of my own life. So that's why I really wanted to be an adult. And sometimes people would even ask me now that, are you happy to be an adult now, just as how you thought you would be happy when you were a kid, that like now that you're grown up, right? And I was like, yes, I'm actually really happy that I'm grown up. Like I'm an adult now. Like I'm actually really happy about it. And yeah, I'm like it's aligned to my younger self. It's so aligned. So yeah, so in hindsight, I realized that it's because I kind of want to escape from any kind of controlling situations and have kind of like my sovereignty, you know, that I don't have to submit to someone just in exchange for certain security. That is, even though said to be unconditional, but it's actually really conditional to me, like emotionally speaking. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Now, but what's more important that I would like to share, because I would like to go deeper into this, about my experience with the father wound, which is exactly the father wound, because the father wound is about unhealed divine masculine energy in anyone. Okay, this is non-gendered. So for me, it's a very unhealed expression if I'm unable to receive. Now, I know usually when people talk about receive, it's about the divine feminine energy, right? It's like you receive as a feminine, this feminine energy. But later I realized that, okay, because I actually, you know, meditated on it, which is actually a method taught by the lady in the video that I just mentioned, okay? So if you're interested in that, you may take a look. So it's very, very effective. And I realized something from myself through the meditation, that it's not my divine feminine energy that is blocking myself to receive. In fact, my divine feminine energy is very healthy. Like the nurturing aspect of it, the creative aspect of it, of myself, okay, and the playful kind of, you know, of myself. So it's very healthy. It's only through this meditation that I realized, oh, because I have been thinking, oh, maybe it's my mother side wound, you know, things, but I realized no, it's actually a father wound. So what it means is that the divine masculine energy in me is blocked to receive. But then people might wonder, hey, why would it be divine masculine energy? Because divine masculine is about stability, structure, right? Orders, traditions, the building of things, right? It is not about receiving things. I was kind of like confused as well at that time. But then I suddenly came to a realization that, oh, that is why there is a black dot in the white and a white dot in the black in yin yang. You know the yin yang? The yin yang, okay? The yin yang, like this, and then dot, dot, right? The yin yang. It's because in the feminine energy, there is a masculine energy, okay? And then in the masculine energy, there's a feminine energy. So what it means is that in my masculine energy, what are you doing here again? In my divine masculine energy, this side, so it's the right side, okay? The right side of the body. I'm not sure if it's flipped when you're watching it, but it's on the right side of every one of our bodies, is the masculine energy. So if my masculine energy is unable to receive, meaning it's a mother wound of the divine masculine energy, okay? I'm not sure if it's making sense for you, but since for me, my own family history is that my father has a very, my actual biological father, okay, he has a very, very wounded, like, childhood, I would say, like really, really horrible childhood experience. So it's not easy for him to navigate emotions as well as love, you know, topics like this, because he doesn't have those, and he didn't have the opportunities or didn't take time to work through them, you know. Then that would turn into a generational thing, okay, that would pass down to the children. And so now I am actively reprogramming all of this. Okay. This is not only just for me, but I would see it as my own responsibility, you know, to to heal myself. But indirectly, it's also contributing to the next generations, right? So we are all in one. We are all one, okay? We are all in this together. So helping oneself is really helping all other people at the same time, I would say. So that's why it's actually a mother wound in the father wound. Does it make sense? Because he didn't receive any kind of nurturing thing. So he did not receive. So naturally, when he gives anything to me or to his children or even to his wife, so that would be my mom, right? He is actually feeling very, very lacking or say even to the point that he doesn't feel comfortable to give, okay? Because he has not been receiving anything, I would say, like as in love, nurturing aspect of a femininity in his life. And at the same time, my mom is not a very nurturing person, like as in she could very easily turn into her animus side. Like her animus would be very easily activated, okay? Her animus would be very easily activated. So when a woman is in her animus energy, it's basically she turned herself into a man. Like it would be a lot of arguing, okay, a lot of fighting, a lot of disagreement, and could even having certain emotional, guilt tripping the partner, and also gaslighting, a lot of verbal judgments, things like this. It could really cause both partners to feel, both of them, to feel really, really drained. So if a woman is not able to self-regulate her emotions, that then, and at the same time, her husband, so my father, was not able to self-regulate his emotion or even express effectively, that would cause the entire situation to be quite chaotic. And so that is why. Okay, so my mom, she is also at the same time not very able to receive. Okay, now she also comes from a background that is quite traumatic as well. So that's why it's not easy for her to give at the same time, as a woman, in a way that is like nurturing and unconditionally. Because that's why like what I mean by it's not unconditional is that it always comes with expectations. Like if a person gives you something, they actually kind of like, not that they would actually mark it down, but then they have it in their minds that, oh, when I actually helped you something, and then they would actually brought it back up later in the years or even later in the days, that I actually helped you that. So like, you think I don't love you? You think I didn't help you? Why are you like, it's like this kind of blame game things. So that would be one example of it. That's why I said everything came with a price. And so that's why it's not easy for me to receive from my parents, even nowadays, although I've been taking baby steps, but I'm very cautious when it comes to that, because it comes with a lot of expectations subconsciously, and I would not even subconsciously, but it's more like it is subconscious, but it could be quite explicit at sometimes, that they would actually feel like you are not being a good daughter or a good kid, a child, that you're not fulfilling, you're not fulfilling what they want you to be, or how you should behave, how you should be, even though they would say that they are actually quite open-minded and stuff. However, I don't understand their standpoint though. Like I understand their point of view that it's not easy for them to cope with a person like me that is so futuristic in a way. It's just I really understand. Yeah, because it's not something new to me that whatever I say, people would find it quite like, but then they wouldn't really. It's kind of like they feel kind of weird, but kind of interesting at the same time. So they would not really immediately judge, but it's not easy to understand. It's kind of like this, but it's kind of like this, but it's like I mean no harm, okay, when I express, yeah, okay. So okay, that's kind of like a brief background of how my family, my parents are, and it's because of that I would then go into this. So because only then it would make sense, make much more sense. So the meditation that I did, right? The video is in the description box. Link is that that is that phrase that she taught in the video. Like say, like you sit here like this, right? And then put one hand on your heart center. So that would be the heart chakra. And then it's optional if you want to put another hand. It could be on your belly, but you don't have to put it, okay? So what I did was, at first, I put the left hand on my heart center. And when I say that phrase again, that sentence again, I put the right hand on my heart center, okay? Like this. And that phrase is, I deserve to receive miracles. I deserve to receive miracles. Okay? And then the practice, or say how the guidance is that when we say it, like this, feel the body. Feel what kind of thoughts come into my mind, what kind of feelings come through me, and is there any sensation in my body? Because these are all the clues to let me know what I need to look into. Okay, so it's basically tapping into the subconscious and the unconscious mind in order to churn out what I actually need to look into, which would be the root cause. And these are the root causes. So when I put my hand, she didn't mention like using the left hand or the right hand, but it's just something that I also experimented with, is to use the left hand as a feminine energy and the right hand, which is the masculine energy, to see the difference. And there is a major difference, okay? I've been looking at that side, but actually the camera is there. Like, oh wait. So for the divine feminine energy, so this one, I put it on my heart. It's like it's like, imagine it's like my heart tells me about how my divine feminine energy is, okay, when it comes to this sentence. How do I react? Okay, how do I respond to it? So when I said to myself, I deserve to receive miracles. Now, what I saw, or say what I realized, is that, oh my goodness gracious, you just was stopping like me. Okay, so it's really, really funny. I started laughing. Like I started laughing, but it's in a very joyful way, like very joyful, playful. I was like, like yeah, and then it was like it was very joyful and very happy. super happy. I was like, keep laughing, like, hey, that's so funny. And then I kept saying, I deserve all the good things in my life. I deserve to be loved. I deserve da da da. Okay, like I kept saying, like, even it's not even in the meditation guide, but then I was just keep saying that it's fun. It's really fun and creative, you know. And so, what I how I experienced is that what I realized, okay, from that part, okay, the left hand is something about, you know, the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is about creativity and is expansiveness, okay, how we express ourselves through using the creativity, which is the womb, the womb, okay, the woman, womb, okay, that is the sacral chakra. Is that because that's how babies are formed, right? It's there. That is the creative center of our bodies. That would be the womb, okay? So, and it's in a very healthy state. It's in a very healthy state. It's very free flowing. You know, I feel it. And so I was like, okay, well, okay. I was like, okay, I'm good. Now, and then I was like, really? But it doesn't feel like that. I felt like there was something else more than that or deeper, okay? And so then I changed my hand to this side. That would be the right hand, the masculine energy. And then I said the phrase again. I said, I deserve to receive miracles. It's so different. So different. And why? What's the difference? It's like it was so still. It was so still that if the stillness, it actually feels like stagnancy. Okay, it feels very stagnant. It's something that is moving very slow. But that one is like super fast. That's why I was laughing. I was like, it's fun, it's creative, haha. No, I did not. I was so stoic. You know, like Marcus Aurelius. Stoic. Like Marcus Aurelius. I was so stoic. And I was just like that. And then I didn't really feel much. And then I started seeing like a claw, like this, with sharp nails, like an actual like an animal's claw, okay. And then it actually later, you know, after I, you know, look back, you know, started jotting it down, I realized that it means violence and control. Okay, violence and control. And I also saw that as a kid, like flashback in my mind, certain memories when I was a kid. I'm just gonna read it off here, okay? Memory of when I was a kid that I worked or behaved myself to gain my father's liking and approval in order to be safe. And also to receive financial and daily security, you know, like to have a roof, you know, like that. And the reason is because I witnessed domestic V. I'm not sure if YouTube would like be sensitive towards that word, so that's why. Yeah. So I bear witness to that, and so I knew very early on that in order to not get myself into such a situation, if I were to be obedient enough, I would not be in that position. Okay, so that's why I would behave myself very well, just to be safe. Okay, so that's the reason. And so over time, gradually, and then that's what I jot down, like the quote, you know, it's actually coming from I would say it's like from my inner child, okay, like from my younger self, basically my younger self, yeah. That everything came with a price, quote unquote. And then quote unquote again, I had to submit so to receive. Like I had to submit so to receive. And then another one is I had to gain his liking or approval so to have value or worth. You see, you started to see the pattern, that why am I like, and I realized, oh, that's why it feels so hard for me to receive, especially from men, because I feel like it comes with a price. I would be controlled. I would be, it's like I would be associating it to violence, to being under control, and I just want to escape, things like this. And then another one, which is I had to fulfill his expectation of what he wants, but not what I want, so to receive security. So it's really a generational thing. But since it's really worth looking into, because if I had not come to such a realization within myself, I would not understand, wow, like it's like the entire picture is so much more clear. That really explains why it's so hard for me to receive, And then when I address it, when I address that and understand it, because I see it and I acknowledge it and I embrace it, and self-compassion, that was like, okay, that's why. And then it really is very liberating. It's very liberating, and it really not only that, like not only liberating myself, but I realized that there are many other women, not even just women actually, many other individuals who could possibly have such a trauma that they might not even come to know from deep down. And so I was like, okay, it would be so nice to share with other people, because it's actually true to me. It would be like how it would manifest in, say if one of the quotes, I had to gain his liking or approval, so to have value or worth, that would literally be, people pleasing. It would manifest in later, when we grow up. I would like to people please my partner, just to gain his liking, so then I have the value, I have worth, right? That is like usually how this would manifest in, would become the anxious attachment style in a person. It's really all interconnected. And then now, and another one that I just mentioned, I had to submit, so to receive. So in this way, it would be, I have to abide to the rules. I had to sell my certain of myself, part of myself, in order to get something. Okay, that could apply to many situations, even to career path, even to any kind of working conditions, because I didn't feel that I am enough, that I'm worthy of having my own sovereignty, and I don't actually have to submit to anyone to receive anything, that I'm safe to receive, right? And what's more importantly, that now we go into part 3 to wrap up like both the part 1, the passion, with monetization, and also the childhood trauma thing with receiving, right? What is even more important is that when it comes to this, receiving, because I felt like everything came with a price, that it's all transactional, even though I don't want it to be transactional, because I am, I'm innately someone that doesn't really calculate when it comes to giving. I don't even remember helping, because I feel like that's just the right thing to do. If someone needs help, if someone needs certain thing, and if I can be of help, like at that certain point, then of course I would try to help, because that's the right thing to do. Like simple as that, it's just that. So I mean, I would not even, that's why it really hurt me when, say my mom would bring up how she helped me or treated me, certain instance, and would accuse me of not being considerate. And it really, I was like, oh my God, like that's not, like I'm just like, oh, like, oh, because I don't operate like that. So I would not bring up anything just to go against her. It's not a debate for me. I don't like that. I just like to get things clear. I'm not here to play any kind of emotional game, which a lot of the times my mom would be very prone to doing that. So I've learned throughout the years not to, I would like to kind of like set very healthy boundaries when it comes to this kind of topics when discussing with her. Like not to touch too much on the emotional aspect of it, because she is still learning to regulate. Okay, so but she's been good, and I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. Yeah, so that in itself, when it comes to passion and monetization, I realized that I still really want to separate these two. What does it mean? Is that I don't want to link my passion with my basic necessities. Okay, so that being said, that's that, okay? And for the second part, which is the receiving, I am actively and consciously taking steps, big or small, okay, big and small, to learn to receive, especially gifts, like GIFT, gifts from other people. Be it anything, it could be compliments, it could be donations, okay, that I would like to talk about very soon. And also it could be just even like a coupon, things like this, or even opening a door for me. But although these are already like I have been receiving, and I'm very grateful for that, and it's not something weird for me to receive, but it's like I would be even more aware of it now, because I know it's something about receiving. And it really makes sense for me that, oh wow, okay, I deserve to be treated right. I deserve to be treated with love, and it's reciprocating. Yeah, and so it's very healing for me. And so I'm taking steps to learn to receive with gratitude, and at the same time I would also like to pay it forward, but also nurture myself at the same time, okay? Like I gratefully receive. So by combining these two parts together, what I have come to a decision, or say resolution at this point, is that I would love to monetize this channel when it's able to be monetized, reaching certain criteria. And the money, I would say, from this channel would be for paying it forward. Okay, it's really for paying forward. It could be for funding other people, other projects, for collective good, sustainability, for education, for anything health-wise, or even mental wellness, things like this is for collective good. So the money would be used for that, because since it is a collective effort, collective co-creation here, we, right, me and this channel, everyone here on this channel, so it makes so much sense to me to align that, because this is a collective co-creation. And so naturally to me, I would then pay forward for collective good, collective well-being. Okay, it just makes so much sense to me. So in this way, the passion and monetization coexist perfectly. Okay, I monetize, my passion is pure, and I pay it forward for the collective good. Okay, so like that's the third pathway. We like that's the third pathway, right? Now, and then for the second part, that was for the first part. The second part is to receive. I would love to receive gifts from anyone who would like to send me gifts, be it in the form of liking my video, thumbs up, right? Or even in the form of comment, any kind of compliments, any kind of kindness, any kind of way of expressing their love, their positivity, their supports, their encouragement to me, to support me, okay? Basic necessities wise, or even supporting my passion, okay? To keep expressing, to keep growing, to keep thriving, to keep moving forward. And so I would also then gratefully receive donations from anyone that they feel aligned to giving, okay? And so that is also a process for myself to taking conscious steps towards receiving and feeling safe and confident to receive anything that I truly deserve, okay? So including miracles, good things in life, supportive people, nurturing communities around me, it's like all these good things, and to thrive together with everyone. And so that's it. And I would put the link in the description box below if you happen to feel aligned to support me personally, okay? Now, this is not about a channel. The donation is simply for encouraging me and supporting my passion. And yes, and I hope you enjoy this video as much as I do. And I thank you for your patience, your time, and your kindness, your support. And I hope to see you in the next one.